Anthem Blue Cross and Common Threads are helping schools across the country learn about healthier food preparation. And here in LA, they're joined by the Sparks and will provide education, recipes, and knowledge to students and families about healthier options. Learn more at anthem.com/ca/sparks. Anthem Blue Cross is the trade name of Blue Cross of California.
Okay, let's start the show now.
Yeah, because Alan's gonna have he's gonna fucking start a short circuit.
I mean, it's his fault though for going ahead and saying all that crazy stuff. If you think about it.
True.
It's your fault, Jay.
No, it isn't.
How do I sound, guys? Do I sound? Am I coming in crisp and clear?
Very sexy.
You sound great, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, yeah. Enough of stroking your ego. It's back to me now. I'd like to think that
Jay, you sound like shit. I'm just fucking with you. You sound good.
I know I sound great. Fuck you, pal.
No, I know. You got like the whole setup going on.
I sound like I had too many Marlboros in my day, all raspy and stuff.
Yeah, you're gonna be the cigarette smoking man before you know it, just like the way you dreamed of it.
I'm getting there.
Yes, you are.
How do you smoke cigarettes?
No, I vape.
Oh, gay.
All right. So, as we are here, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say this. Welcome to tonight's presentation here, because it is time to start things up. It is the Monster Fest edition of the J360 Hangouts. Take it away! Okay, fine. We'll team up. I'm J-Man, and this is J360 Hangout, here on... J360
Anthem Blue Cross and Common Threads are helping schools across the country learn about healthier food preparation. And here in LA, they're joined by the Sparks and will provide education, recipes, and knowledge to students and families about healthier options. Learn more at anthem.com/ca/sparks. Anthem Blue Cross is the trade name of Blue Cross of California.
It's important to properly dispose of unwanted medication or sharps. MedProject offers free and convenient disposal options near you. To learn more, call 844-MED-PROJECT or visit medproject.org.
Hey, what's going on, J360 Legion? How are you all doing tonight? This is J-Man, of course, here for the, let's see, how many episodes have we made? Damn, too many. No, not too many. This is like episode 18 of the J360 Hangouts, and of course, you know we're celebrating with the Monster Fest. And there's the lightning again. Well, you see, the thing is, you're going to have to forgive J-Man because, well, I just got finished watching the Wishmaster series, and I'm a little out there right now. But, hey, joining me tonight, because I don't get to join this stuff alone, is Marco, of course.
Hi, how you doing? Hello?
Yep. And Alan, who is indisposed right now because he was over there talking about bones, and they finally caught up with him.
It hurt my feelings deeply.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, go ahead and say hi to the audience, Al. Jam, man.
Hello.
There you go. Anyway, so we're finally here. First day of October and all that jazz. J-Man gets older in about 29 days. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Should be a festival.
It is a festival. It's All Hail J-Man Day.
All hail J-Man.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'll get the pogs ready.
Well, I'm glad. We'll all have a good time on that one.
Pogs is hard work, good sir. Don't you forget it.
Nah, boy. Yeah, Al's been talking about pogs for a while now.
Did you guys ever get in a fight over like somebody trying to take your slammer?
Pulled a shiv on a guy about it, and I was kidding.
I literally I bit a kid in 2nd grade because of it on the hand.
Well, hey, man, slammers are important. Serious business in the Pogs game.
Hey, it was an Earthworm Jim slammer.
Yeah.
It was super hard to
find. By all
find.
means.
Yeah. It's
so
justified.
I fucked that kid's hand up.
you know you had to.
Yeah,
did your mom give you a scold when you were in the car on the way home?
Yeah, my mom's first response was just like, "You bit him?" That was it. And like, why not punch him in the face? Why did you bite him like a fucking mongrel?
Scrapper.
Yeah. What's up with Alan and shivs?
I don't know, man. He done saw this prison documentary and he just became about that life.
Yeah.
I get you. All right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I'm bored.
Shoot, when he goes to Sam Quentin, man, and he get mad, he running shit.
Yeah, it's gonna have a field day.
You know it. I'm proud of him, though. I mean, I'll be looking at it and saying, man, shoot. I like it, Al. You holding it down on this. He's like, yeah, man, no man can hold me. Al will be all tough and shit.
That's how he comes out sounding. He's like, yeah, dog.
Yeah.
All scary and shit.
Yep, he got on his
Step up,
sunglasses and stuff, and then he's wearing like a Buffalo Sabres hat and trying to talk some shit.
He comes
talk
out
shit
and he
about my
steps
hat.
on his vape and he like pulls out a pack of cigarettes because he's just tougher now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fuck this
yeah.
vape.
I'd be like, man, I don't have time for vape now. I
Yo,
need
man.
straight to my
Yo,
lungs, man.
shoot, the state can't hold me, motherfucker.
I
Things
like how
that.
I like how Al's like almost gangster voice is kind of Sling Blade, but not really.
Yo,
Yeah, I'm a little tougher now. Yeah.
yep, need some shitty crackers and shouldn't be talking like that, just a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peanut butter crackers. Good shit, brother.
Dude, Sling Blade is like probably one of the most underrated comedies I've ever seen in my life.
Like I keep saying, man, there should be like a little team up or like a double special marquee between that and Forrest Gump. I'm telling you that right now. The
That'd have
fact
been
that
sick.
they made something-
They,
yes.
they could have been like the first Avengers. They could have just been like fucking Forrest Gump is like the Flash and Sling Blade is just retarded.
Well, remember that
Mhm.
Mad TV parody of Sling Blades? It was freaking awesome.
Where he teamed up with Blade. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Where's your friend? He's getting French fries.
It's so funny, like Mad TV has some fucking classic sketches, but like no one uploads them and like unless you saw the show, you'd never fucking know. You have no idea.
Yeah. Oh man. Like just
I
to
feel
hunt
bad
down
for
those
Matt.
sketches is actually pretty fun. Anyway, you were saying?
Yeah.
You feel bad for Mad TV though, because like I have no idea. Their sketches were amazing, but for some reason people just remember those shitty music parodies that they did.
Which
Yeah, the music
ones?
parodies were bad. You know, it's funny, like I mean, I guess maybe in hindsight, like SNL had a lot like SNL had a few that were good before like the Lonely Island guys were on there for like 3 years, right?
Right.
But like it's kind of crazy because fucking In Living Color, I would say out of all those like comedy variety shows, had the best song parodies. I think probably because In Living Color most definitely had like the funniest cast of all time, I would say.
And everybody knew what they were talking about and writing about too. So like when they
Yeah.
went ahead and they gave that performance, they weren't phoning it in.
Like I remember fuck, what is his name? I'm spacing on his name. Tommy Davidson did like the Michael Jackson parody, but it wasn't even like the video. It was like a parody of Michael Jackson's like long ass music video intros where he's like the Panther, but he's like stomping on cars and stepping on cans and shit like that.
Yeah, when he was busting
Yeah.
shit up in black or white.
Yeah, and then like fucking Jim Carrey did like the snow parody
Yes,
for Informer.
Yes.
Yeah, like a fucking way ahead of its time because now Informer's a meme.
It
But-
is.
In Living Color was doing that shit fucking
Early.
even before SNL was doing it or attempting to do it.
Well, shoot, you can tell, like, as soon as they had competition, man, they stepped up their game, but, oh,
Yeah.
God, don't you just hate it when they bring back a show and then, like, that show just doesn't take because of all this extra crap? It's like, you're not even telling people what they need to hear, or you're not even giving them any sort of gist of comedy at all. You're just trying to please everybody.
You know, it's
Sad.
funny, like, it's even worse when they try to make, like, Sinbad the host of the Vibe talk show. Remember that?
Oh, man, that's bad. That's bad.
You know, it's just bad when, like, the last episode no one ever saw because apparently on set, the fucking bleachers the audience sat in, it caved in. And it hurt, like, hundreds of people. And then so they just canceled the show outright because of all the people they had to pay out.
Well, you know, when you make something and you have like a set, you might want to
So
make
I-
sure that stuff is taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that show went from sin bad to sin worse. You know what I'm saying?
Get out. Get out. That's enough. That's enough, dude. I love
was
you,
ever
man.
any-
You're like a brother to me, but what the? No.
If there was ever a time for a cricket like sound clip,
It's more like an observation, really. More like a factoid.
I don't care what the explanation is. That shit hurt. Stop.
I literally almost threw my Xbox game controller when you said that.
Oh my god. Well, you know what? It turns out that, Wishmaster 3 and Wishmaster 4 couldn't kill me, but I'm alive now because of that nonsense right there.
Yeah, you're
That's
fired up.
Scary shit, man. Thank you, but fuck you, Marco. All right, man.
So,
The
Jay,
second time you got it today.
I know. So, as speaking from like the audience's point of view, for anyone coming in fresh, what is the Monster Fest to anyone who might be tuning in for the first time?
Well, the Monster Fest is a 6-week celebration of horror and monsters and all sorts of other crazy stuff to go bump in the night. And I'm not talking about what your mom and your dad do or the mailman. I'm talking about like all sorts of wild stuff that happened during All Hallows Eve. It is our Horror Fest celebration. We discuss movies, rate movies, talk about like haunted creatures and different stories that take place, and it's a company-wide event, starting with the mini bites all the way to the hangouts, all the way to the power play, and then, of course the J-Man show ties it all together. So like anything that deals with the supernatural or anything is involved in the Monster Fest. So
like what you should do is like, remember those characters from Hellraiser are called Cenobites?
Yeah, they should be next, right?
Yeah, are you gonna do that or not?
Well, we got a pretty big list, but I can see if I can try to squeeze them in. That's the thing, because if it's gonna be like what I went through right here with Wishmaster, I don't know. As long as we don't do the top 3, we're fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People something new to look at, and they can laugh at it too.
I feel like there's a lot of forgotten or overlooked good horror movies. You know what I mean?
Tons of them.
I think one of them. Did you ever see one, for anyone listening? Like this one called High Tension, which is like really, really interesting. It's like a French horror film. It's fucking crazy. Really, really good. Like atypical. Like, oh, there's a slasher killer coming after me, but then like twist at the end is like real nuts. Really, really interesting.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
I remember this one called it's called The Clown or something like that. The guy puts on a clown suit because like the clown didn't show up for his kid's birthday. So he became the clown, and like that thing became like he became the mask pretty much.
It was almost like an adult version of like a Goosebumps story.
Almost, yes.
Yeah. What's that Goosebumps story where like that kid puts on like, it happens twice. Like somebody puts on like a superhero mask, or is it like that goblin mask that the kid puts on and he like starts turning into the monster, right? Something like that.
It was the Haunted Mask series,
right?
Where like the one dealt with the girl who put on like this one mask so that she could be frightening, but she could never pull it off. And then like later on, her friend ended up getting one, who obviously doesn't listen to her at all. Went to the same mask store, picked up an older person's mask so that he could be like going through the same shit. I'm like, for real? Y'all don't talk? Is that's what's going on?
Sure don't. Yeah, she's like, look what I got. Turns around, she's all fucking a monster now.
Yeah, and then he's turned into like an old man and can't really do anything. He's like, how could I get out of this situation?
I'll deal with it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goosebumps, man. Like, that was classic back in the day. Like, none of the stories were really scary, per se, but, they kept you busy. And the thing is, like, you enjoyed it for a while. Like, if you didn't care about what was going on Fear Street, which is another good series, at least you always had Goosebumps.
Fear Street was way better than Goosebumps.
Are You Afraid of the Dark? Wasn't that one like an actual show for a while, too?
Yes, it was. And I hear they're trying to bring it back.
Yeah.
And it will fail.
You know what? Can I tell you a movie that got like a lot of praise and like a lot of buzz, but I thought it was like whatever, and they just released a sequel for it. Was Don't Breathe, where the guy's just like blind, and that's what makes him scary. He's just like a fucking dog, just like sniffs you out.
For real? That's actually a thing?
That's the movie. The movie is that he's blind and that he like captures girls. right? And then you find out that he's like artificially inseminating them with his like semen. I don't know why. I don't really remember. I just remember thought it. Yeah, I just thought like if you're battling against a blind man, all you have to have is like a pocket full of like random rocks and like pieces of metal. And couldn't you just like keep throwing things like at the opposite end of the room and just distract that fool until like you just take off out of there?
You would think, because how did he have all this extra? Like, how did he plan all this stuff out in order to capture somebody?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Death is supernatural.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like I don't know. It just sounds fucking stupid to me. And they made a sequel, and obviously nobody saw it, so that's fine. That's okay.
Yo, who is funding these sequels?
Direct to DVDs.
Isn't that funny that there's no more direct to DVD? Everything just goes to like a streaming platform.
It's the bubble.
Well, it saves on money. Saves on money for those, instead of like, purchasing all the DVDs, box art, everything like that. They can just simply stream it out. I mean, it's an easier way to do it. To be fair. I mean, it kind of sucks though because like, doesn't it kind of make it harder? Like, people think, oh, it's better because they're like cuts costs. Sorry. But in the end, like, aren't you losing like your chances of seeing the movie? Like, compared to like, say you were like at a video store or Walmart and you see it in the bargain bin, you're like, oh, I'll take a chance on it. But now, like, if you're on a streaming platform and it's all fair game, you could see an actual really good horror movie or take a chance in your little horror movie.
Yeah, it gets buried in like the shuffle of everything that's on there. Because like, dude, if you go through like the horror category, I was gonna say section of Netflix, it's like just fucking swamped with just like shit. Like, there's just like a lot of bad stuff, and I ironically like love bad horror movies, right? Like I love being surprised with a really good one, but I feel like a good solid horror movie is kind of like a thing of the past, Well,
with all this sneaking shit that's going on nowadays on the airwaves and stuff, or what is being prepackaged and no effort being thrown in. Kind of like Wishmaster 4, yeah.
So, about Wishmaster, what is there like an interlinked story? Is there anything that the audience should know? Like, where the fuck, like, where does this go? Like, what is Wishmaster, and then how many are there, and where did it go for you, Jay?
Well, to be fair, there was a story about it. Like, there's supposed to be this whole interdimension. And the thing is, like, the djinn is supposed to grant every wish, right? Especially to the person that released them from his gem, which he is contained in. It's called the Gem of Flames. And if he gets that third wish, he actually can break the barrier, and then all the other djinns can actually join into the Earth plane with him. Kind of like how Mortal Kombat was.
Yeah, parallel dimensions and all that.
Yeah, pretty much just want to take over Earth. And see, like, every time he has a hard time in the first movies trying to get that third wish, by the time that we're even in the third one, there is no third wish, pretty much. The girl tries to kill herself, and then nothing gets resolved out of this, because you don't even see the djinn in, like, most of that movie. And then, like, for the fourth one here, well, the djinn falls in love after he gets the third wish.
Why?
And pretty much stalls the movie trying to figure out what human love is instead of doing his damn job.
So the fourth one is just Beauty and the Beast.
No, not quite, no.
No, the third one was Kazam, after he was set free, he decided to be with the woman.
Like, and they tried really hard to be funny. Like, you ever see those movies with that, like, when they're going bad, they're funny, and that's their saving grace? This movie just shits on all of it and insults you. Like, by the time, you just really need to just stop with the second one. The second one was really good because, in the end, those two characters the two main characters for the first one and the second one managed to beat him because of trickery. Kind of like dealing with a monkey's paw kind of situation. You word your wishes to the best of your ability, and so that you can go ahead and get something fulfilled, but everything costs something. Now, when you go up against the Wishmaster, it costs you your soul. they did it right because they were at that third wish, and they use it to defeat him. Whereas this shit is crazy.
So, I get, like, I think for me as a horror fan, I think about like the wish concept, right?
Right.
And the hardest, it's like kind of like time travel to me, where it's like it's an interesting concept, yeah, but it also like inherently is kind of lazy, like rarely do people get it right, like the wish concept, right?
And it shows, man, because like by the time you get to this third and fourth one, there's nowhere to go except for just start riffing it, and like none of these characters have motivation. The people are just phoning this in. You can tell like some of them are like, "This is my big break," and it's like, yeah, you're gonna be at that McDonald's a little longer.
Right. Yeah. Weird.
It's just like, they're not even trying at this point. But
because like if you're in that movie and you're that character and you find this djinn or a genie or whatever it is, wouldn't you just wish for endless wishes and then never even make the other two?
If you were smart, you probably would, but he'd find a way around that too if he was written well enough. Like in the first one, man, like he was smart as he was always 2 steps ahead. Like, like the girl said, "I want you to kill yourself, blow your brains out." And then he went ahead and had a gun and he fired it in his, he literally fired his brains out. And he said, "What is eternal cannot die, but if it's any consolation, that hurt like hell. Now make your wish."
Ah.
See, now that was a smart villain right there.
Kinda it's
cheesy
clever
when you look at it, but see, it's clever.
Yeah, but it's clever. It's like witty. It's like, well, what did you think? He's a genie.
I mean, you expect him to destroy himself? I mean, come on. There are rules in play at this. And to be fair, it's like, he doesn't really kill people entirely without their help. You know what I'm saying? They usually have to wish for things, and it's usually something selfish that people don't really think that is selfish, and it ends up destroying them as much as coming true.
Now, is like cool. The folly of their wish more like Twilight Zone-y? Like, is it Twilight Zone-y, like how the irony is kind of like hidden in the wish somewhere, or the result of the wish, or no? Is it more just like happenstance that gets somebody killed?
In the first one, yes. It's very much like that. But by the time you get to the sequels, you can tell that they don't it's the production company that got their hands on this, not like the original writers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we franchised it, so we hire whoever we want for 2, 3, and 4.
No.
Jeez. Alan, what's your wish?
Was that like Scary Movie though? Like the first 2 were made by the Wayans brothers, and then after, like, they just gave it to a new director.
Yeah.
Each and every time.
And I think they came back for like, what was like the good one with Charlie Sheen in it, right?
That was like 3. No, the Wayans brothers had no part of that one.
Well, there was one that they came back for, and they made a big deal about it, and then you find out that they just come on to like consult on it. They didn't even like really work on it. Oh, no. It was the Zucker brothers, the guys who made Airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like once they were like at Scary Movie 6, it was fucking crazy. Like, what a weird point to bring the Zucker brothers in. That's fucking crazy.
Well, the Zuckerberg, they started at 3, which was actually a really good film. And
no, I'm just
1. Yeah, 1. It was actually a good movie, like 1. And then 4 was really bad, and then I didn't bother to watch the rest.
What's better, Scary Movie or Disaster Movie?
Scary Movie.
I disagree. I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm just fucking. Or like, what's Epic Movie is another one, right? Like, what is the other ones they kind of like they Play-Doh churned out?
There was Date Movie, Epic Movie, and Superhero
what was
Movie.
It? There it is. Yeah.
At least Superhero Movie had some saving grace because,
it
was during the height of the superheroes, so it was pretty funny. Like early 2000s superheroes.
I'll get tons of hate for this, but Superhero Movie has like Spider-Man Homecoming vibes.
It does.
Yeah, it's fucking. I mean, I don't like Homecoming, but like, it's literally almost they're like as good as the other to me. Like
Hey.
yeah.
Now, I know this has nothing to do with horror movies, but why would you get hate from that? I mean, it wasn't that good. I'm a major Spider-Man fan, and I can clearly tell you, Homecoming was kind of lacking if you think about it. Compared to the Raimi films, I think it was pretty lacking. I think, if anything, it was like, this is the trial version.
True, very true.
You know what I'm saying?
Kind of horror related. I think wasn't the guy who directed that clown movie the one who directed the Spider-Man movies now? Like he's the director, right?
Oh, who? Watts?
Yeah.
I think he did, but still at the same time, it's like, he's good at horror, but when it comes to Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I think that's why, like, it made me interested, but the second I saw the trailer for Homecoming, I was like, it really does not matter who you get to direct these fucking movies. They're just going to make themselves at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of which...
Well, go on. You're saying?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But there are horror elements. Like, do you think that horror directors, just kind of jumping off this point, like, do you think horror directors are more applicable to other genres of movies?
I think any director can be more applicable to any sort of genre. It's just that, are they going to do it their way, or are they going to do what the studio tells them? Are they going to do what they think is right, or are they going to do what, whoever signed the check is going to do? That's the thing. Yeah. You see? There's probably lots of great directors out there, but when the machine is there and they're doing what it tells them to do, there it is.
Yeah. Because, like, you look at the history of movies that translate well and break through audiences. You have, like, Sam Raimi did Evil Dead and then applied a lot of that to Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, which he did.
And then you have Sandberg, who did Lights Out and then, like, fucking Shazam,
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess the two instances I would say were like those directors have really, really translated well, like the content that they're making. Almost like it can be. I think because horror is innately fantastical to begin with. Like if you can capture that, I feel like you're able to do more with fantasy concepts, right? So like, I don't think you could ever get fucking. I mean, look at what happens when you get like Ridley Scott to direct like an Egyptian epic, and it's fucking terrible, but it's all fantastical where it's like god kings with like lizard heads and shit like that, and it's just it's absolute shit.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like you got to really look and see like who actually marketed this film, who believed in this film. Is it a lot of Ridley Scott's ego, like? Little things like that. I mean,
I think it's fair to say that everything Ridley Scott does is just his ego now. I think
pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think Fox is pining for more Alien movies because obviously once Disney bought them, there are no more of those movies.
Well, not only that, but I mean, The Predator was such a winner.
Oh yeah, fucking God. Yeah. Oh,
which, by the way, I know what I was saying about the big three, but I also remember mentioning this a long time ago. I got to look at Alien vs. Predator 1 and 2 for the Monster Fest.
You know what? I give the first one credit. The first one knows exactly what it's doing. Yeah. It's just, it's fucking a team up monster mash movie, whatever.
Yeah. But I just remembered I got to get Requiem and then I got to wash my eyes out and look at something else. Little things like that.
Yeah. I remember Alan saying that he loved Freddy versus Jason. Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, remember what I told you about that? The rules in the freeloader. The hell's wrong with you? I'm just messing. But to be fair, oh God, I was just thinking about it not too long ago. I think the worst thing a director could do is become complacent, because if you're not careful with that, chances are people are gonna know your tricks. They're gonna know all the things that you do, and you'll be like M. Night Shyamalan, just hoping for that win again. And then like you had to go back to Unbreakable's universe for that win.
So,
Yeah,
and that wasn't a win. That was a whiff. that was like a whoops, my bad. I shouldn't have done this.
I mean, Lady in the Water really didn't help either. So it's like, you know.
Yeah, I think Split should have been it. I think he should have just gone out strong and fucking said, "That's it, I'm out. I tap." You know what's funny though is that series he did on Apple TV is really fucking good, but no one saw it, of course.
What's the name of it?
Oh fuck, what was it? It's the one where the lady gets like the baby, and it's supposed to be a doll, but it comes to life.
Oh, okay.
Really,
yeah,
it's got
I
like
didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah, it's fucking great, and it's really interesting how he did it, and like you could tell that he had complete control over that as well. And that's like, to go back to what you're saying though too, is it depends on what a director wants to do. You know what I mean? If you gave me like hundreds of millions of Nickelodeon money, I would fuck up The Last Airbender too. I don't care what the fans say.
I guess. I mean, because I mean, that's story for another episode about holding a series on like this high pedestal too. But yeah, just I mean, like the show was fine. It had its run. I mean, damn, do we really need another one in live action form?
No.
You know
I mean, like that's the thing too is like we can't leave great animated series just alone. We can't just let them be.
I mean, if it's that important, I mean, like, look, let's just go ahead, rerun the series on broadcast television again. Oh wait, that's not really a thing anymore, but you know what I mean. Run it through the cycle again, and then while you're at it, finish up The Legend of Korra if you did, because that really wasn't finished. What they did there was a rush job. Go on ahead and finish that whole thing out. Then make a third series dealing with the same line, and there you go. It happened with Ben 10.
Yeah, they fucking still make live action movies of that crap.
Yeah, you know? And of varying quality.
Yeah, no one cares. No one gets pissed off. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck is the difference?
Yeah, but then again, some of these people went back and came and destroyed He-Man. So let's just not, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then they did the same thing with Thundercats too. But like, stay in the task. It's kind of the same with like some horror films. Some people just do it because of the novelty of those characters, and not necessarily just trying to create something that could be the next icon, could be the next big thing. And that's what J360 Productions is about. We don't want to remake these things entirely. We want to give you different. Do
you think entertainment is missing horror icons? Do you think, because there's a lot of interesting ways to create horror icons, but then it's like the people kind of decide who the horror icons are, right? Like what stands out all the time.
Usually they do, because I mean, like, remember when Cloverfield came out? And like everybody was talking about how great it was and all that kind of stuff, and they were like, "Hey, we're looking forward to that sequel." But Abrams and Reeves were like, "Oh, we don't know, well, maybe." Like, no, that is the perfect time to jump on it. You don't really have to go into all the specs about Clover if you had to, but right there, Clover was an icon, and I'm saying that in reference to the monster because that's what they called it on set.
Yeah.
You know, like, but then they give us 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is okay, but it wasn't really what, you know, it was its own thing. It was a parallel story, and that's fine. But people wanted a sequel to deal with that monster and what was going on.
Yeah, and then I think, like, do you think that also becomes a case of, like, here's a really cool concept they came up with, and then outside of that, they were like, we really don't have any. Like, it was only as deep as, like, a monster shows up, and it'd be cool to fuck up New York. You know, kind of like a kid playing with its toys. You know what I mean? Like,
well, most of the time,
here it comes.
A movie is kind of like that, a kid playing with its toys. I mean, you know, you think about things like certain things that go down with Texas Chainsaw Massacre and, like, you know, Pumpkinhead to a point. Like, all that stuff that's going on, it is technically a man playing with his toys, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And usually you would like to see, like, some people would love to see New York go through something. Hey, we don't have the rights to Godzilla. Let's make a Godzilla-esque kind of thing. Like, yeah. And then at that point, develop the mythology as you go if you must. But, you know, like, if you have people wanting more, you know, why not go for that?
Yeah, I mean, because that was kind of the big troll with Super 8. I think people thought Super 8 was going to be like this horror monster prequel to Cloverfield, right? Because that's like how it was kind of marketed. Like, here's a monster that looks kind of like it that showed up in a craft in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Almost kind of doing like E.T. with the Cloverfield monsters. And then you start to think like, oh, wait a minute, no, this is just a stupid bad movie. My bad.
Oh my god,
You know?
like when so many people were in that theater, and I was there too, of course, because I wanted to see the monster. I didn't care about the plot, I just wanted to see the monster. And turned out that it was actually a friendly monster being abused and held against its will. And the little kids, they knew about it, and you know, pretty much J.J. Abrams' version of E.T. turned on its own. I mean, at least he did take his own spin on it, but at the same time, I never look at J.J. Abrams as like this great wonderkin to filmmaking. As a matter of fact, I think the man in his way kind of destroyed filmmaking.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think when you manage to get something like Star Wars and contort it into a position of like being unfucking recognizable.
And pretty much obliterate Star Trek like anything. Oh, hey, Al, remember?
Yeah, I remember. That's all I'm gonna say. I just got done watching. You know, I'm kind of mixed on it. I literally just got done watching Star Trek Nemesis the other day. That movie was terrible.
That's like the Khan sequel, right? That they tried to disguise.
No. This was the one that flopped so bad that they caused the J.J. Abrams movie just to happen.
That's right. That's the one before the reboots, correct?
The sign of what's to come.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, it was so bad. I could not believe what they did.
I mean, do you think that, like, okay, so even to kind of use that idea with, like, the horror movies, do you think that, like, a cool concept, yeah, right? So, like, let's take, like, the Cloverfield thing. Like, we have this idea for a monster scenario, and they're just going to be running through it and blah, 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 and all this crazy shit is going to happen. This lady is going to get swollen and pop like that girl from Willy Wonka and all this other shit. And then outside of that, do you think they go like, damn, we really don't have any ideas? Like, we are fucking, like, outside of it potentially just being like a Godzilla carbon copy, what the fuck else would this be? You know?
See, at that point, it might as well have just been a short film, but if they're, like, knee-deep in the middle of production, isn't that why you always have, like, a writer on staff to go ahead and try to, you know, write and make this work? You know, I know it's, like, on the nose, but there's usually somebody there to go ahead and craft something to doctor it.
I think with something like Cloverfield, too, like, that would have been better had, like, they never even attempted to address sequels. I think they should have just been like, nah, that's what it was. Like,
well,
you can't
they were acting. That's kind of what it was, except for like
I know, but then like
Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was.
We did see the monster at the end, or one of them.
The Cloverfield, right? But this time it was like bigger than the planet, which makes absolutely zero fucking sense. But okay. Yeah. But I mean, Wishmaster is known, but would you consider it iconic or like C-list iconic?
Definitely C-list. Because a lot of people don't talk about it's known, but it's not known to the heights of the big three. And if you can have it like to the point where everybody's talking about it or something like that, then there's a chance. But once again, it's like something you got to survey people on.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, maybe there's the big three just because they're maybe because kids can draw them simply. You know what I mean? Like,
possibly.
I feel like because they're so simple that becomes why. So like we were talking before we recorded about Pumpkinhead, and like that's by far like a crazier looking monster. Right?
Oh yes.
That would definitely give any kid nightmares seeing it for 5 seconds. So I wonder what do you think in that divide over time as films go on keeps Pumpkinhead from being up there with like the commonplace big three of horror movie icons?
Well, considering that he only has see a lot of these the big three, they're well over like 3 movies and stuff. You know what I mean? And then like they also get a lot of TV time too, because like anytime Friday the 13th's around, of course you know one of the networks that got those syndication rights, they're gonna show Jason. All right,
Right.
like when it comes to like Pumpkinhead, they're not gonna show Pumpkinhead like as much as they should. You would think like every October 1st they would go ahead and run through like with Pumpkinhead 1, Pumpkinhead 2, and there is a third one out there actually. So you would think they'd run through those, and they run through like Species, or they run through like Extra, which Extra is pretty fucked up, but still you would run it, you know?
Yeah.
Little things.
No,
like
I get
that.
you. Yeah.
God, Extra was weird. Gotta rate
There's
it.
a lot. There's a lot of. It's funny. Something I remember seeing as a kid in like like mom and pop video stores was like Puppet Master. All these like Full Moon Entertainment horror movies.
Now those are awesome.
They are fucking great, and it's so funny because I would say that they have a lot of characters that are by far fucking way more interesting than the big three.
Oh yes.
Right. Like the
Like
concept of the
Demonic Toys
Puppet
alone.
Master. Yeah, Demonic Toys is fucking crazy. Like, but the Puppet Master concept is like a Jewish puppet maker who gets murdered, right, in front of his dolls that he makes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think what happens is like his blood, typical movie mumbo jumbo, like his blood or his soul or whatever transfers over X, Y, and Z, and then like. There's this really interesting idea of like a revenge movie wrapped around the typical like possessed doll concept, right? And they happen to be Nazis, so like the audience now is fucking rooting for the possessed toys. Like, what a fucking flip! And that's by far way more interesting than like a kid finds a white mask and stabs his sister, and then here's 18 movies.
Yep, over and over again.
Yeah,
Like, either
yeah.
way, Michael has to kill Judith. I mean, it's always like that.
Good point, Al.
Oh, you wanted to add to it?
No.
I was just listening to you guys.
That was funny, but we do got to pull you in on a few of these, man. Anytime you want to, anytime. Tag.
We're gonna put a heart monitor sound effect in this, and when we think Al might be dying, it start to flatline.
It's a possibility.
Nice.
Well, for Pumpkinhead, why it really, honestly, like, was it even a really? I mean, I understand like the effects were really good, but that movie really wasn't set up to succeed like the other movies really were. Like,
Yeah.
it was just kind of there.
I mean, but to be fair, even if it wasn't, like, there's a lot of movies that wouldn't achieve anything, but people liked it. You know what I mean? And then they kept it relevant. Like, when Candyman's new movie came in, like, people were, like, sold on Candyman.
Yeah.
I will never understand why people were sold on Candyman.
I mean, like, primarily for the time being, it's a relative. Technically, it's a love story because it's a black man that falls in love with a white woman, and then he's like murdered and gutted. And so that's why he comes back with the hook on his hand
and bees in his chest.
Yeah. So it's kind of. It's amazing that a lot of the older movies had a deeper level, like The Thing was about the Cold War paranoia.
Yes, it was.
Like They Live is literally like foreshadowing what 2020 was for people.
Yeah,
in fucking like
consumer culture.
Right, in like 1983. Even down to the black and the white guy fighting each other for no reason.
Yeah. To put on the glasses so that they can really see what was going on.
Yeah, like why were they so angry at each other? They had no idea.
I mean, hell, that's Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, hell, any social media site, to be honest with you.
So it's like, I don't know. I think that's what's kind of crazy because you look at iconic characters and like you have like your Captain Americas and your Spider-Mans, right? And we kind of know why those stand out,
Of course.
because there's like an ethos to them. But like there are more interesting, deeper concepts with other horror movie characters. But I think what I was saying is true though too. Like the Pumpkinhead movies, the sequels after, obviously not as good. But then again, like how many of the Halloween and it's debatable if the first one is even really that good. You know what I mean? In comparison.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, you really didn't get any backstory entirely in the first one until, like, the second one came out, and even then you had to put pieces together. Mm-hmm. You know, kind of like how Maniac Cop, remember Maniac Cop? Like, you really didn't know why the hell he was doing all that stuff until you got the backstory in the second Maniac Cop. And even then you had to deal with some other stuff. Third one sucked on that, though. But, like, what it is that, you know, a long time ago, like, the USA Network used to be about this, because they used to have an Up All Night kind of special, where they would play those old things over and over again, and, like, anybody who was up at the time, they would know about those movies, and then they would go ahead and be like, hey, you know, I would know somebody like Richard Kazar, or somebody, you know, that appeared in that, and be like, hey, let's talk to him and things, and like nowadays with podcasting and stuff, but we can't talk to him now. He's gone. He's no longer with us. But you know what I mean? Like, there are ways to make these things relevant again, and with our way back machine on things, we can do anything we want.
That's true. That's pretty true.
I mean, it's usually up to us to keep it relevant, but like I also said, there's a lot of different, like, the ones that are mentioned that we were talking about, like, they got well over 3 movies. They got, like, you've bound to have seen one of them, one or two of them.
Yeah.
Everybody's bound to have.
They, like, pushed them on you, even if you didn't want them. They made how many, like, Freddy movies for no reason.
Mm-hmm. And then Scream. Scream was getting up there. Matter of fact, Scream's supposed to have a 5th one coming out. Think about it.
Did you ever see the 4th Scream movie?
I left it alone, man, because the 3rd one wasn't all that good.
Dude, the 4th Scream movie is absolute shit.
Ugh, well.
And Wes Craven directed it.
Well, you know, once again, that's, you know, technically he was involved with Wishmaster 1.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, if we go based off of name and merit alone, you know, it just goes to show he probably didn't have any ideas for this damn thing either, but he wanted to try his hand at it again. And I can understand if you get the... Oh, go on.
No, my bad. It's finished. You're good.
I mean, I can understand. If you get the itch to do it, fine. Go for it. But at the same time, it's like, don't expect too much, because you probably told all that needed to be told. Hell, Scream should have stopped after the second one, when it was Billy Loomis's mom. They didn't even know what the hell they were doing with the third one.
Yeah,
like,
true.
The third one was like, what, Sydney's mom's ex-lover or boyfriend, some shit. And even then, it didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Do you think a lot of horror movies now are missing the unnecessary tits and ass aspect of them? Because honestly, let's think about it. The Jason movies really only live off the concept of, like, people were fucking and then they got murdered. Like, that's every death up until the plot kind of kicks back in again, right?
Usually, but, you know, are we talking like Pam Voorhees doing the job, or are we talking about Jason?
I'm just talking about the series in general. Like, because to me, like, this is what happens when you have that many movies. To me, these horror things, the sum of the movies is almost like pointless. You know, because like,
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Like that's one thing that I think that kind of bothers me about the Halloween stuff. Like, I know that there's new ones coming out and they're going to try to get back on track and whatever. Who fucking cares? No one cares, dude.
No,
so
not at all.
So, like, that, I think, to me, is why, like, even that idea of the icons, because to me, like, Chucky's far more iconic. Like,
well, he's got a series coming.
Yeah, but, like, The Thing is by far way more iconic if you look at fucking, that it could literally be anything. You know what I mean?
And there was little to no real explanation.
Right, exactly. Like, it just kind of happened. Yeah, I don't know. Icons.
Yeah.
Horror
well,
icons
like I said, it's kind of like it deals upon people. You know what I mean? And what they're exposed to most of the time. Hell, I mean, some people, like you said about Puppet Master, a lot of people love the Puppet Masters.
Yeah.
When I mentioned demonic toys, chances are they probably won't think about demonic toys until they see like Baby Oopsie or something, and which
Right.
Baby Oopsie just had a movie come out not too long ago. So I'm glad to see that Charles Brand is still working on maintaining, his legacy, and that's really cool.
Yeah. One of my favorites is Doll Man versus the Demonic Toys.
Hell yeah.
That's
That
fucking
shit was
sick.
funny. Love it.
The whole filming location is like one fucking warehouse that they own. So the movie costs nothing to make, and they just had like animatronic puppets just blowing up every day. It was fucking great.
And the thing is, they did all their framing and everything right, and it was all like a sequel to like 4 movies they made previously. Like that was what was awesome about that. Like
it was literally like Full Moon Entertainment was the Marvel Cinematic Universe fucking like 30 years before the Marvel Cinematic Universe was even a fucking concept. Like all those movies were at some point tied together, right? Like kind of amazing. And I don't know, that kind of just sucks. Like talking about that kind of makes me kind of sad because like I love horror movies, and there's not many to like kind of hang your hat on, right?
Like nowadays, I don't think so. I mean, some people talk about The Conjuring. Some people talk about A Quiet Place. What do you think, Al?
I actually did watch The Quiet Place. It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing. I didn't really see the need for a second one, but that's just my decision. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of getting to a point where it's like, okay, you made a good horror movie. We don't need a sequel to it. Just make another one. Just make a different movie.
Yeah.
Just something more unique. Like, I just don't think, like, A Quiet Place ever needed a sequel, and I can't believe there was one.
Well, the funny thing is about that, too, like, I don't consider A Quiet Place a fucking horror movie.
No, it's more suspense, but...
Yeah, and it's more like a family drama. It's not even like... It's like the family drama, but if like the drama the family is facing is like, just happens to be a monster. Like to me, it's no different than like if the family in A Quiet Place is just like the mom from Mrs. Doubtfire and it's inverted, and like the monsters are Mrs. Doubtfire. So why the mom doesn't want him around anymore is like that dad being a complete fucking weirdo, right? Like it's just about this outside force that could potentially corrupt and break the family.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but to me, it's like A Quiet Place. To me, I don't even think would be a horror movie. And I saw like that last Conjuring on HBO Max, right?
Yeah, how'd you like
it? It's passable. It's better than most. So like, it's also James Wan, so it's like, of course, it's gonna kind of be better than most. But then again, like you said, down to the director, it's hit or miss, right? Because in that same universe is like. That La Llorona movie that was fucking terrible. The Annabelle movies are hit and miss.
The Nun.
Right? Yeah, The Nun. Fucking what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know. It's funny to kind of think about the modern scape of horror movies. Like Al said, like, they all just get lost. They get lost, and there's so many to watch now that they're fucking pumped out. One I really did like was Willy's Wonderland, but to me. It's a Nicolas Cage movie. It's not even a horror movie. It's whatever Nicolas Cage wants.
So basically, it's not going to see the movie for the movie. It's just dealing with Nicolas Cage, huh?
But it's fucking great. He's beating up like possessed evil animatronics. It's fucking awesome. But it's not a horror movie.
Yeah.
I like to think Nicolas Cage's life is a horror movie.
Oh, well, he did make that Ghostbuster. I mean, not Ghostbuster. Yeah, I would love to see Nick Cage in Ghostbusters, but I would. But he did make
sick.
That. Yeah, you know what? It's like, he should have been in the new Ghostbusters. That would have been pretty cool, actually.
If Nick Cage was in Ghostbusters, you wouldn't even need the other Ghostbusters. You just need fucking Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Ghost Rider 2. Yeah. Well, after Ghost Rider 2, there ain't no coming back. Literally.
Yeah. Ghost Rider 2 was wee boy.
Oh my god, I hate that movie. It's like...
loud, exciting, and fucking terrible at the same exact time. I don't know how to explain it like that, but
the first
action scenes were kind of
good,
cool.
But
and then like the Spirit of Vengeance is just like what? Like the action scenes are cool, and then you're like, But what the fuck am I watching? Like, it's a cartoon? What is this shit?
Oh, man. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, which one would you like better? That one or Elektra?
Oh, I'll watch all the Ghost Rider movies back to back over Elektra. Absolutely.
Oh my god. That's the way I look at it, because in the early 2000s that was always like the lower tier for my ranking section. I was like, is it better than Elektra?
Yeah, is it bad or is it Elektra bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man.
God, that movie, you know what, like I said, that story for another time. Reason why I bring that up is because I haven't seen Venom yet, but not Venom 2, I mean. But I'm going to rewatch Venom, and I'm going to rate Venom for the Monster Fest, and then I'm going to go see the sequel.
Huh. I'm so, like, apprehensive about the new Venom movie.
Why? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't know. Andy Serkis could direct it ass naked, and I don't think I'd even care. But I forgot he was even directing it. Someone was like, "But Andy Serkis is making it," and I'm like, "All right." That doesn't fucking mean shit to me.
Hey, don't you just love it though? Like, that's the calling card right there for any director. Like, even we do it too. Like, you know, hey, that's James Wan. Hey, that's Darren Aronofsky. Hey, that's David Ayer. You know, it's like,
and then people are like, "Oh, did you?" I had the same experience with fucking watching Tenet.
Yeah.
I watched Tenet, and somebody was like, "Yeah, but if you watch it backwards, it makes sense." And I'm like, "Yeah, the problem is, dude, I'm not fucking insane, and I'm not gonna watch it backwards. You know, like, you're either gonna fucking Back to the Future 2 me with this and like amaze me, which doesn't even take much when you think about Back to the Future 2. But if you can just make it entertaining, I'll be fine. Tenet was not only fucking boring, it wasn't even confusing, it was just badly thought out. And then people thought that like people thought it was genius. Like, I'll give you a trick. You guys, like, so if you want to multiply any number by 9, right? So like any number between 1 and 10 and by 9, you can actually do it on your hands without getting any answer wrong. So you could you count like, you know, whatever. It's a fucking sequence, right? So that's how the movie feels to me, like watching something like Tenet. But that's what you're saying too. Like, we do that with horror movies a lot with directors, where we go, "Oh, but you know, Conjuring 3, it's James Wan, and it's technically better than most horror movies that are like this, where they're possession movies or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And then, see, sometimes it's like this. Do we just go into that whole little fanboying kind of way, or do we pay attention to the quality of the movie and be like, you know what, there's something there that was missing, or something a little off, or it just wasn't good to me like it was good to everybody else. You know, it's sequences like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, as I say what I say about Wishmaster 4, this could be somebody's inspiration to filmmaking. God knows what it would be, but, you know, it's nothing to do with me.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you say that, and that's actually kind of true. Because, I mean, you don't know how something will inspire somebody to make something else. I mean, you look at Tarantino's whole career is inspired by B movies or C movies from the 70s.
Exactly.
You know? And he's made, like, a shit ton of classic movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I mean, it just kind of depends. I think you have to know that what you're watching is inherently cheesy.
Yeah. I mean, and as it should be. Like, you know, John Carpenter's vampires, I mean, like, they didn't stick to the mythos of how to kill vampires. I mean, you know, but it was still a pretty good popcorn flick.
I mean, From Dusk Till Dawn is that same thing, too. Like, From Dusk Till Dawn, outright out of the gate, knows exactly what it fucking is. And I think that's what movies are missing now. I think movies, especially horror movies, try to... You can have layers, I think, but, like, I feel like forcing layers upon a movie just kind of makes it stupid. So for me, that's my biggest frustration with a lot of modern horror movies. You know, like, what was that fucking movie, Midsummer? Did you ever see Midsummer, guys?
Yeah.
Midsummer, to me, was probably one of the most fucking overrated pieces of shit I've ever seen in my life. Like,
hey, but Florence Pugh, you know?
Yeah, fucking Black Widow. And so, like, I saw Midsummer, and halfway through, I just started, like, laughing. Because, like, everyone in that movie is an absolute moron. Right? The writing is so bad, it makes everybody in the movie just look like an idiot. And then...
It did a good job.
you see this coping mechanism though of people like calling it great, and I'm like, no. This is a bad movie. People are like, no, but maybe it's intentionally bad. Like, no. Maybe you just like Hereditary a lot, and maybe Midsummer sucks. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
You see, the funny part about that is that people aren't even going to go that far. They're just going to be like, oh my God, this movie was so good and so great.
Yeah.
And then they won't give you a reason why it was great or like what was the enjoyment of it.
And then at the end, she was so empowered. And I was like, well, you fuck off.
Right.
I hate that shit.
You know, there's been plenty of movies like that. You know, there was this one movie that I rated last year, and it dealt with this person that moved to this this complex. I think it was called Room 211, if I'm not mistaken. But the thing is, when she was in that complex, little did you realize she managed to get an affordable place on the Hollywood Strip because she was in a section where it was a cult. And see, the thing is, she got involved in the cult, and she stayed in the cult, but then eventually she started to break out as, like, people were reminding her what her life was like beforehand. And it wasn't that bad of a life, but, you know, she wanted to get away from living under her father and under his strict rules, and that's what that was. But you see, like, when she broke out of that cult and stuff, then she was empowered and everything, but nobody talks about that movie.
The crazy thing is, it sounds like that movie's about the Nixium casting agency.
It might be.
Yeah, I mean, see, and that's kind of cool. I think that you think that's where like the surprise of like, so let's go to directors again about horror concepts. Like Get Out, right, is probably one of the rare times a movie and its concept and how it executes it is like perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like when you try to force the same kind of like trippiness, you get something like Us, which is just definitely nowhere fucking close to Get Out.
Oh, hell
like,
no.
Us is all right, but it's not as deep as people try to like cope in their mind with it being because it just happens to be that director, right? Like,
yeah.
Do you think that's like that's like probably one of the most recent examples, especially in horror films, where people just kind of came out of the movie going like trying to find it to be good, even though you know it wasn't good? Like how we talked like John Carpenter's Vampires. John Carpenter knows exactly what he was doing.
Exactly.
You know, like They Live is super cheesy, but he knows exactly what he was doing.
And Body Bags too, but you know, it's like, or like he knew what he was doing when he made or he was involved in Halloween 3, because it was supposed to be like something different every time Halloween rolled around.
Fucking what is it? Escape from L.A.
Yes.
Right. Like that's absolute cheese, and it's like a throwback to cheese.
Mm-hmm.
That's like that was completely acceptable in like the 80s.
I mean, when you have Isaac Hayes as like the guy who's pretty much running the whole prison, which is New York City.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just class, man. I just loved all that. That movie was amazing. Not to mention you had a very, very British president, didn't you? So yeah, the rules are no more. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, true.
But going back to like what we were saying earlier, it's like you can't see Get Out. I mean, you can have expectations for the next movie, but to be fair, you're kind of hurting yourself at that point, because every movie should stand on its own anyway. And Us, if anything, nice follow up, but no, it doesn't have to be on the same pillar of Get Out. Get Out came out at the right time during a moment of uncertainty, and then like nobody thought that Jordan Peele, who was a comedian at the time, could be a director. But then as soon as that stuff clicked and it did it right, and God knows how many rewrites it went through, then all of a sudden he became involved with the whole Twilight Zone hosting and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the whole like fucking, what is it, H.P. Lovecraft universe on Amazon or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And even then, that show didn't come back, which is weird.
Yeah. But I think that's another case too. Like I tried to watch that, and I understand like what the motive was. Like, and this is where you're talking about too. Like, it's the puppet versus the puppet master, right? Like, no pun intended about what we were talking about earlier. But the studio thought they had some sort of like social justice agenda outside of trying to make it good to begin with. So like, when you're watching that, I forget what it was even called. Lovecraft Country, right?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
There's like these ham-fisted concepts out the gate. Like before you even get what the story is, it's just trying to like force feed you like what the flavor of 2020 was. You know, and you're just like, yeah, but Get Out didn't do this though. Like Get Out took its time, you know, to lay like every story needs to take time, right? Regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
Whatever the bigger narrative concept is. And I feel like I don't know. Maybe that's probably why stuff like Candyman stands the test of time. I think even in the 90s it was overlooked, but I think especially to minority audiences, stuff like that really stood out when they looked back at it. Tales from the Hood is like more popular now than it was when it came out.
Oh, indeed it is. And it also had 2 other sequels that came out too. Like, a lot of people don't talk about Tales from the Hood 3, but Tales from the Hood 2, they do talk about it. You know, it's like, it's one of those kind of things. And, you know, it's like what strikes the chord, because there's, like, the people we name drop, okay? They're in that circle right now. But there's lots of other directors and creators just like you and me, and Alan to a point. I can see him directing something. But...
Porn.
For me? I don't know.
Well, I didn't say any of that, Marco. You did. But the point...
Well, Alan did say his favorite horror movie was Bone, starring Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, but he didn't say it was boned. Anyway.
Oh, nice.
Hey. It's my network. I'm due for one. Anyway.
Nice. Get Out. I'll take over from here. No,
hey, I'll walk myself out, man. That kind of hurts. You understand?
The keys.
Yeah. Lock up when y'all are done.
I gotta go
off the floor.
Shoot.
Yeah. I gotta go lay down.
Yeah, that wow. Ooh. Oh man, I better go drink some of this bold ginger ale. Speaking of which, by the way, it does bite you back when you drink it.
Uh-oh.
You got a Bargs, good sir?
Bargs?
Yeah,
Bargs has bite. Yeah.
Hey, Bargs is great.
Hey, Bargs is fucking good, dude.
Yeah. I can't knock that. Love Bargs.
What's better, Bargs or A&W?
Bargs, dude.
Hell yeah.
Ain't no comparison.
Uh-oh, here we go.
What's up, Al?
Come on, man.
Well, it depends. Is it the AW you get at the restaurant, or is it the AW you get out of the can?
Out of the can.
Okay, it's canned, dude. But for one thing, yeah. See, if it's fountain, then that's different.
I've never gone to a restaurant that has Bargs on tap. Just so you know.
I do know one. It was No, I don't. I'm sorry. I thought I did. I'm like, wait, did Culver's do it? No, they have their own. Never mind.
Well, there's this pizza place around here in Delaware that does, but you know, it's very nice. Oof. You just go there for the
Burger King have it for a while, or they have Mug?
Huh?
Didn't Burger King have Bargs for a while?
Actually,
usually, they have Bargs. Yeah, like KFC would be the one that has Mug.
Yeah. Yes.
Mug is terrible.
It goes flat quick. I'll let you know.
That's what I told her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you know, like you had a slow leak anyway, pal.
Speaking of, I guess you had a little double dribble there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you got to leave your mark somehow.
Mm-hmm. I like to leave a trail of where I go.
Well, of course you do, man. That's how you ended up here.
So when I like to leave a treasure map, good sir. No, I was kidding.
Like they pull the black light out, like I'm playing Condemned.
Yeah. You got to let people know the trail of where you go at all times. It's got to look just like the scene of Kitchen Nightmares, or what's that one that Gordon Ramsay tried to do, Hotel Hell?
Oh my god!
Looks like a Jackson Pollock painting.
It's like Bar Rescue.
Yeah. Oh my god. You know,
I love Bar Rescue, man. That's a good show.
Which, by the way, we got to reunite and actually talk about those reality shows sometime.
Yes.
Because they kind of destroyed entertainment, too. So, I mean, they kind of brought us back from a certain point of view, but at the same time, we kind of built the whole Running Man universe with that. Just saying.
Yeah, reality TV has its in horror for sure. Because, like, that was like a dystopian future thing, right? Like, fucking imagine a show that's not even scripted. It's just like a bunch of trash live. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. It's everything now.
Oh, yes.
Like there's a show where they literally like bid over what people left in their storage because they couldn't afford to pay it anymore. Think about that. That's fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd rather watch a show where somebody kicks a dog in the head than watch somebody go through their personal belongings they couldn't afford to keep anymore. And they go, who wants the picture of this Chinese guy's family? And you're like, what? What the fuck is this? Like, why are we doing this? And the guy's like, I do $200. And you're like, why? What the fuck are you going to do with that?
Oh, man. Hey, wait a minute. Sarah McLachlan, what the hell are you doing here? Well, because of what Marco said. And then she starts playing. I'm like, oh, fuck. Get us out of here. Go to commercial quick.
Shit. Sarah McLachlan. Where did she go? Outside of that commercial, that was it. Like, no more music? Just
where'd she go? In the arms of... That's where she went.
Oh, God. We need time to heal from that joke.
Yeah, would it be insulting if, like, every time you went to go put your dog down, they just played that song in the background?
Oh, my God.
So a vet would have that song, like, on repeat 24/7?
Yeah, or, like, when you leave after putting your dog down, they give that to you, like, they give you a lollipop and a copy of that on, like, a CD as a single.
Well, if they were putting down
that
the
just
dog,
shows you're a sucker then.
Yeah, see?
No, I mean, if they were putting down the dog and that's all they're hearing, I'm wondering if the owner would be like, "Hey, if I pay you $50 more, could it be 2 for 1? Because I'd rather go 2 if I have to hear that song on my way home."
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Here's my parrot. He's fine. You can just blow him up.
I mean, once again, that's like Greta Thunberg showing up to tell you that you ain't doing shit for the environment, and it's like, damn, woman, I know, leave me alone.
You know, the cool thing is like Greta Thunberg is for sure like a horror movie icon.
Well, I know she's kind of a Democratic Party plant. I know that much.
Oh yeah, like anyone who's that young and looks that pissed off is going to grow up to be like a fucking monster of a person.
Well, she's over 18 now, and I can only see like nothing but trouble coming in because she did the one that says, "How dare you? How dare you?" Now it's blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I noticed that she shows up at these damn moments to do these things, but people are always like, "This is what Greta Thunberg has to say." I'm like, so you're just making a meme out of this girl?
Like, you can't even let a fucking kid into a movie theater unaccompanied, right? When she was like first showing up on the scene, how the fuck did she get into congressional meetings by herself?
Her mom and dad.
But like, you can't just drop off your kid at a fucking congressional, like a court where you can just go sit in on fucking public court cases. Like, you can't, like, it doesn't fucking work like that. Like, how the fuck did she end up at the UN?
Like, if my kid annoyed me, I don't care where she be dropped off. He's got to go.
I guarantee fucking you, those parents are like, look, dude, you want to go bitch to somebody? Go bitch over there for 6 hours. I'll come get you tomorrow.
Pick you up later.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure if anything, they were probably sitting right out there getting all that American money cred and all, you know, saying, yeah, she knows what she's talking about. Yeah, we'll ride this one for a while. Yeah.
That was like the only girl Epstein at these conventions wasn't trying to talk to.
Possibly.
He was like, yeah, that chick is a drag.
Oh, man. But, yo, it's like, it's amazing to see these news networks ride really... You know, like I said before, and I think I said this on a J-Man Show episode, and I probably have, I don't really need to make a horror movie. I live in one. Because all the crazy shit that goes on...
Yeah.
Every time. And it's like, it doesn't have to be in the real world. It can be in the digital. It can be in anything nowadays where you see, like, all this stuff is just, the fuckery continues.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then other artists like us, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, like, all the stuff that they do and go through. And, well, I can only imagine. I'm going to see some more wild stuff when I'm out there in San Diego hanging around you guys. But, yeah. It's going to be like, fuck. You okay? Like, especially when people don't get jobs when they're not 25 anymore or some shit. I mean, like, and, you know, they're still beautiful as hell. And I'm like, what the fuck?
It's a sick fucking... Dude, we had just gotten done shooting dinner and drinks, right? So I just got done directing, and we're sitting there with the actors, and one girl came in to help, and she was going to be. She had written an episode that was supposed to follow up to it after it went to this film festival, and then we were all just like having drinks and dinner after the shoot, and she starts like crying. This blonde girl, right? Attractive, typical actress, blonde girl, very nice, very sweet.
Yeah.
And we're all just like, whoa, dude, what's going on there? She's like, I can't fucking believe it. She's like, I just turned 30, and I just know this is probably the last thing anyone's going to even see my face in. I'm going to be way too old to be in anything anymore. I'm thinking to myself, what? Like,
yeah, who makes these fucking rules?
Yeah, so I just told her, I said, hey, you should cheer up. And she goes, why? I said, because Angelina Jolie's Goblin 8 years, and they still fucking put her corpse up and shit.
For real, yeah.
Like, you'll be fine. You know, but that's a real thing. Like, women have fucking breakdowns in that industry. You know, it's why, like, you look at any movie and, like, remember, like, in every movie for a long time, Catherine Zeta-Jones was the wife to a fucking super old man before she actually married one?
Yeah.
Like, that was, like, atypical. Like, Hollywood thought like that. I mean, they still do, obviously, because even Aunt May now is fucking Marissa Tomei.
And,
you know,
I mean, she is the age of the character, but the thing about it is, you know...
Yeah, they make the jokes about her because she's hot. Like,
yeah.
Foggy's whole fucking thing is he wants to bang Aunt May. Like, yeah, all right, cool, great.
Yeah, even though that never happened in the comics, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. But, I don't know.
But she's bangable, and we have to go ahead and hitch her up with somebody. We couldn't do it Tony Stark anymore. Next best thing.
Yeah. Fucking, it's just, I don't know. The industry is hilarious that way.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we can do is hope that we don't end up like them as we get where we need to be. I mean, because, like, what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to find a nice distributor to really help us. You know what I mean? Distributor used to have a good idea, but, oh my god, Distributor just fucked off, man. Jesus Christ. But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If we can go ahead and come together like we're supposed to, and the tribe stays focused, we could be the new Hollywood. We could do things better than they could.
I think that's one thing that's happening a lot because, like, you realize that the fallout in LA is real different. You know, like, none of the studios are operating the way they were. And if you're, like, an independent creative, you can fucking outpace a studio in terms of content production.
Yeah.
You know? So. And it's funny because right now online, people aren't demanding high quality content.
They're not at all.
Mm-hmm. And it's like the barrier to entry is so low nowadays that it's kind of fucking amazing to me.
Hey,
but,
and
yeah.
if we can use that,
in that, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say, but if you think like in that climate, that's where horror movies kind of started. Like horror movies were always like the cheap, disposable thing to make, you know. But then in that era of like middle 70s to, you know, now the way it started was just like fucking, you know, you had like Last House on the Left or I Spit on Your Grave, you know what I mean, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. These things were like movies they just, oh, here's fucking maybe $1 million, you know, go make one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of amazing. That's the whole Sam Raimi story, right? Like, I think they only ended up spending like a couple of $100,000 on Evil Dead, but it took them like the span of 8 years to make it because they shot everything.
Yeah.
And that fucking defined a career, you know, for Sam Raimi. And I feel like in today's climate, you would think that horror movies would be fucking doing gangbusters. But I don't know. Like Al said, they're just, now that they're so easily just distributed, quote unquote, to streaming apps, no one is like faced with any sort of box art. There's no marketing, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh, it's a poster amongst a list of other posters for horror movies on Netflix to click on.
Yeah, the problem is though, they always try to make it seem like you gotta give an arm and a leg to get that stuff up on there. Of course, you know, that's us talking about distribution.
Yeah, and that's a whole other fucking...
Yeah, that's a whole other monster for us to deal with. See what I did there? Anyway.
Mark.
Indeed. That's why I like doing these kind of episodes too. I know it's different than a usual hangout, but like I said, it's the name of the show. That's what we do. And we should come together and talk more often, which is why we have State of the Art as well.
Yes, very true. That's where it gets wild. Buck wild. Buck nasty.
Hey, I mean, yeah. But you know what? Hey, while we're here, why don't you tell them about State of the Art, Marco?
Well, State of the Art is a completely collaborative podcast where everyone kind of gets their place to shine. It features filmmakers, musicians, and Al. I think Al just disappeared.
Oh, no, he's okay. He's okay. Just go on.
Yeah. And we get to put our creative minds to every single potential topic. Next Dose, we just did the pilot, right? We just kind of put that up. We have a whole bunch of other content. We actually kind of predicted the R. Kelly sentencing like a week out. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that was fucking crazy. I was like, whoa. So, yeah, that's kind of what it is. It's kind of an open forum. Like, obviously, it's a hub for us and kind of moderated by us, but it's for anyone who wants to kind of jump in on the wackiness because, like we've talked about before, most podcasts are kind of cliche at this point, and we want to, like you said, we want to start making things that buck the norm. Kind of maybe even to relate to what we're talking about is old horror movie directors had to kind of rely on their skill set and what they could get away with. And that's kind of like how we make podcasts, right?
Sure is.
So that's kind of like that. So to tie into the Monster Fest horror theme, it's kind of what State of the Art is, like a podcast movie monster.
Yep, we are modern day Frankensteins, and this is what we do.
Sure. For sure, absolutely. But yeah, man.
Well, hey, man, it's about that time. The end of the show is imminent. So until next time, though, we will team up again. And it was good having you and Alan here for tonight's big special. This is the first Monster Fest. Well, yeah, first Monster Fest Hangouts episode. Way to go on that one.
My pleasure.
Had to get that applause in there. Anyway, hey, I'll catch you guys later. We will team up again soon. This is J-Man signing off along with Marco and Al. Laters.
Bye.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry. We were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details. Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry. We were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.